Hey guys, how's it going and what is up? Blackstar 3-watt little teeny bass amp. Anyways, I have the Blackstar guitar amp, which is 3 watts. These are the Fly 3s. So, Fly 3 watts. Now, we do have, of course, the headphone slash out jack. We've also got MP3 line in auxiliary jack input. We've got a compressor on this because it's a bass amp. Of course, the EQ is an IFS kind of dealy. It's kind of a, you turn it one way or the other to kind of mix your tones. Gain control, of course, main volume, and voila. And on the back side, of course, this thing takes 6 AA batteries, in which I put 6 brand new ones in because it had the original factory batteries in it, and they probably weren't that great, so we want to give it a fair shake. The power supplies on these things are specialty, and they're about 50 bucks. And you have an Ethernet port on the back, which is actually for an external cab, which are $70 each. These amps run around 100 and change Canadian. So yeah, I just kind of like buy this to run it on the battery power, and I'm good with that. Same with my other Blackstar. It's running on batteries. I'm good with that. I'm not spending money into a power supply. I thought about the cabinet. Now, I mean, if I could find a couple of used cabinets, one for the bass, one for the guitar version, really inexpensive, then I would bite into it. But I'm not spending $70 a pop on the cabinets just to turn them into little mini stacks. I mean, these things are more for nostalgic and fun. They do have functionality though, which is nice. So if you definitely have a situation where you cannot afford to get evicted, you know, because a regular even 10-watt bass amp might be too much for your apartment, this thing can definitely do the trick. But also, think about portability. You can take this thing anywhere with you with your bass guitar, same as the electric guitar version, and play anywhere. Go to the beach, whatever, you know what I mean? So they do have practicality to them. Keep in mind, I'm playing right-handed on bass. I do suck at bass currently. I'm teaching myself how to play right-handed, even though I'm a lefty person. Just, there's not that many right-handed, well, there's not that many right-handed short-scale basses, and I'm into short-scale, but there's even fewer left-handed short-scale basses available. So I kind of went, well, let's go right-handed. I'm doing right-handed guitar right now, and I'm doing quite well in that. Playing bass is a little different, of course, than what guitar is, even though I got less strings. But anyway, so right now the gain is at, oh yes, we do have an overdrive channel on this thing too. So we got gain, we've got overdrive, we've got the EQ, compressor, volume. Right now the gain, we're going to put the gain right at 12 o'clock, volume at 12. And the compressor is kind of on, you know, a bit, so we don't get a whole lot of racket out of this thing. You know, it's pretty low. So not a whole lot. So let's just turn the volume full. I mean, you could probably jam with somebody who's got an acoustic guitar. That would work, but not a drummer. So let's play with that compressor a bit. You can feel the air coming through the top of here. It's like, wow, that's a lot of air. I probably maybe leave the compressor level here at around 9 and maybe about 9 o'clock on the ratio. Full gain, full volume. Alright, well, we're at full anyways. EQ. So you're basically going to get more bass coming through on full clockwise and more of that treble. Actually punches more treble through that way, but in the middle. Okay, let's go back to 12 o'clock. We're going to leave the compressor alone. Let's go to that overdrive. So we do get some extra out, so let's go full volume. Full gain, full volume. Anyhow, so that's pretty much it. It's an amp, okay? It's good for practicing quietly with, you will never upset anybody. I'm willing to bet you could have your partner sleeping beside you and you could probably crank that up pretty much full and not disturb them. It's really not a loud amp. I mean, come on, it's 3 watts, it's a little 3-inch speaker in there. But you know, you can get hours and hours of runtime out of a set of batteries, which is great. So I wouldn't even bother investing in the power supply for it. I definitely, for me at least, I wouldn't invest in the extra speaker. We're not going to like double our output or anything, you know what I mean? Might appear a little bit louder, and you would have the stereo effect, which would be kind of cool. But it kind of depends on where you're at. So anyways, I rented this for the time being. I'm going to buy it anyways. They only want $60 for it at Long McQuaid because it is used and they're not a Blackstar dealer, so hey, you can benefit that way. But the thing is in brand new condition. And I think if I remember right from the story I was told by the guys, the same guy that brought this in was the same guy that brought the guitar one in. So I've already got the guitar one, and I thought, well, you know, I was in there today picking up some other stuff like my Pathfinder 10-watt bass amp and some other things that are yet to be on the channel at some point today or tonight, tomorrow. But I thought I'd give this thing another go. I played with it in the store originally and I was kind of like, well, that's not what I want as a starting bass amp or even a cheap practice amp. You know, I could do better on my studio gear, which I do, right? But I did want an actual bass amp, so I got the Vox 10-watt. I'm happy with that one. But I do want one that I can crank a lot louder and still stay cleaner. So, you know, the Vox has its limitations, obviously. So do check out the video for the Vox Pathfinder 10-watt bass amp. And if you want, check out my Pathfinder 10-watt guitar amp video as well. face to face, you can't even tell those things apart. You have to look at the tops to know which one's your bass amp and which one's your guitar amp. But anyhow, this little guy though, I like it. I think it's great for doing stuff really super quiet with. You know, you can turn it up and you're not disturbing anybody. How much use I get out of this, I have no idea. But at least now I have the option, you know, take the Vox outside in the summertime, right? Plug it into the hydro and, you know, maybe cheese off a few neighbors, you never know. Not that it's going to get that loud, but yeah, I know. You're not going to cheese off your neighbors, don't worry. Or I can take this thing out and just run batteries if I'm too lazy to plug anything in into the wall socket, right? So this gives me either way something to practice with, and I like it. I think it's pretty neat. So, but you have to be wanting something like this to say, okay, I'm actually going to get some use out of this thing. I'll put in the money, because brand new these things sell for like $100 plus. Brand new in Canada. You can get them at like Cosmo Music, I believe Acclaim Sound and Lighting, I think carries Blackstar. I know Cosmo does, because you can get these amps at Cosmo, as well as the cabs, the power supplies, all that, because they're a Blackstar dealer. But anyway, I think, you know, for what it is, I mean, it's a good little amp. The guitar amp at 3 watts is a heck of a lot louder, but guitars are going to be louder than bass anyways. Basses are all about the low end, so they're not exactly output fanatics like, you know, guitars are. I mean, you have to have a lot more wattage in a bass amp to actually get over top of a guitar or get equal to a guitar kind of thing. So, at least that's what I've been finding out, so there you go. But yeah, still you can, you know, throw your MP3 player in there, like your iPod, or if you still have a phone that has a headphone jack, pick up an 1/8 to 1/8 stereo male-to-male plug and just plug into here and play your tunes through there and jam along with your tunes, whatever. You can do that, certainly. I don't know why they put a compressor in here. I would rather have had something like a reverb or a delay or something else. But, you know, compressor, I'm not sure why the compressor idea. But whatever. I mean, hey, it does work, and because it is in there, you kind of should be using it anyways in order to get a tone that you're after, because the compressor does mess with your tone. So, you know, look at it that way. And at least it has an overdrive channel on to get you a little bit more output above the regular clean, so that's also good. Anyway, it doesn't matter the fact I paid $60. I'm paying $60 for this thing. I think even brand new, I mean, they're kind of worth it because they are portable. They're a lot better than a lot of other little portable amps out there. You know, for the same kind of money, or, you know, sometimes more. And I've had a lot of portable amps over the years, and even for guitar amps, the Blackstar guitar amp is a really good one. I've had other ones that are better in the sense that, you know, you could clip it onto your belt, where, you know, these Blackstars, you can't exactly clip them onto your belt. They're kind of like stationary units, right? Yeah, I have no real complaints other than I wish it would be a little bit louder for that 3 watts. You know, but you get what you get kind of thing, right? But yeah, I think it's an alright little amp, and, you know, like I said, if you don't want to tick off anybody, then it makes a great little practice amp. You can turn it up, you can go full blast, and even in an apartment, you're not gonna, your neighbors aren't even gonna know that you're even playing. You'll be able to hear it, but, you know, they're not going to hear it, or hear very much of it, at least. I doubt they'll hear any of it, but, you know, because it's really not all that loud for 3 watts, right? So, but yeah, I would, I'd mark this one at a 4 out of 5. I think it deserves a 4 out of 5 at least, you know, but it could still be a little bit louder either way, you know, obviously. That is one little, you know, gripe there. I'm not going to complain about the compressor as far as the star rating goes. There's no point to it. It's there, it's there. If it does have a benefit to it. So, you know, why not? Tone shaping knob it's their IFS circuit system. So, you know, you go all the way clockwise, you get more treble. You go all the way, counterclockwise is treble. and clockwise is more bass, and then you've got your mix in between where you can kind of EQ everything to a certain point. I would think that we would get a little bit more volume out of this thing though, if we had a bass guitar with a bridge pickup. The humbucker kind of really is a lot lower output, and they're more bass than anything, right? Where your bridge pickups usually tend to have a little bit more higher output and a lot much more cleaner too than a neck pickup. So, you know, you would definitely hear a different tonal shift there and volume shift, I'm sure. So, but yeah, nothing's perfect either, so you're still not going to get a 5 out of 5. Haha. Anyways, 4 out of 5 is the best I can do. Price new, I think they're pretty good, you know, price-wise. Used, definitely 60 bucks all day. Hey, I'm in, man. Yeah, I paid 50 for the guitar version, so, you know, an extra 10 bucks for this one. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys, so thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.